Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, The School of Love. My name is Maria and I am helping people discover their inner potential for love towards oneself and towards the others. Today I am inviting you to a new episode from the series Things I Have Learned from My Kids. And in today's episode, I'm going to talk about the sadness of loss. This is an experience, or this is something I have learned from my daughter. She's 14 years old now, and when she was younger, or when I was younger, we used to move a lot around between Japan, Germany, and Romania. And she was still in kindergarten, and the first kindergarten she has attended was the kids club belonging to the University of Heidelberg in Germany. She was 2 years old back then, and she really enjoyed her teacher. So she would speak German with her educator in kindergarten, and for her that was the language she only used with that that young lady. Then 1 year later, we moved from Heidelberg to Frankfurt, also in Germany, and she had to attend a private kindergarten because I couldn't find a public one for her, called Villa Luna in Frankfurt am Main. A very good kindergarten, to be sure, in spite of all bad publicity it received at some point. And then, because the private kindergarten was very expensive, after one more year, I moved her to Kibbutz, close to the place where we are living. And while the move from Kids Club of Heidelberg University to Villa Luna was very easy, the move from Villa Luna to Kibbutz, the new public kindergarten, was very, very difficult for my daughter. She was very sad and she was literally mourning and grieving. But she did not throw tantrums. She wouldn't try to externalize her sadness. She wouldn't even probably think of putting it ahead of me or upon me. She would just sit with her sadness and wear a cap from Villa Luna, and she was just sitting close to me and processing the sadness in silence. She talked a lot about her emotions, but a very clever thing she did, and which it took me years to understand or actually to grasp, was that she did not compare the kids or educators from previous kindergartens to the current one. She was letting go of that past by embracing it. If you come to think of it, very powerful and very effective ways of dealing with loss. Particularly with loss she couldn't control, and she had nothing to say about them. So the third thing which I could observe in her behavior was that she was with me, and she was seeing me as the rock of her life, the thing that would never change. And indeed, my love and support for her will never change, and she was very stable in that. For her, that was something which would never ever change. And it still hasn't changed, and probably it will never change, but that was very important. In times of loss, in particular loss you cannot control, and loss you have nothing to say in its development, an important part of accepting it, of embracing it, is to have people around you who support you unconditionally, who just sit with you. You don't need advice, you don't need opinions, you don't need help, you just need someone to sit there with you. As a fourth element is that despite her young age, she was 2, 3, 4 at the time when all this happened, she kept in touch with some of her teammates for years sometimes. And eventually they did lose contact, as it happens with all these friendships from childhood, but it was a slow process of letting go, not a brutal break. And this is probably something you could really learn from children, is the fact that things might go to an end. But if we can make it possible that it is not a brutal end, but rather a slowing down of the relationship, a fading away of the relationship, that would be actually less painful and less traumatizing. So this is like thinking back now, I have changed jobs and living environments and friends and all sorts. The fact that I put an end, a clear end to all these things, actually traumatized and hurt me more than if I could, if I had this idea of letting go by slowing down the interactions. And eventually, she has changed. My daughter has changed ever since a lot, and she has changed two more kindergartens and switched between schools while also attending and having to stop attending an after school situation, as well as several extracurricular activities. What she does very well is that she keeps in touch with her classmates and friends from Romania and Germany, while she lives now with me in Japan, and knows that things change and people part ways, and this is life. This level of acceptance, something most of us struggle to adopt, and most of us are even less capable of accepting it. So what I see in her attitude is a flowing state of mind. She doesn't resist change, she accepts it. Sometimes it is important to let go of things, but even that is less of a break, less of a clear cut, and more of a transition. It's something one negotiates rather than something, um, rather than a clear cut contract. And so it's important to accept loss. It's important to grieve and to stay with the grief. The more plenarily we can sit with the grief, the shorter it lasts actually. The more we can embrace it instead of rejecting it, the less painful it is. And in doing so, we can also learn to to accept and acknowledge life as a series of events which intertwine with each other rather than succeed after each other. So, observing my daughter and the way she processes sadness, loss, absence is or does not stop amazing me and giving me ideas of how to deal with my own losses, sadnesses, grievances in life. So thank you for being with me today, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again very soon. Love and peace to you all.